Let's continue with chromatographic methods. Chromatography means separation of colored substance. And these days we can even separate colorless substance. For example, sugars can be separated by chromatographic method, and by using failing solution, reducing sugar will give brick red color. This method is based on the principle that different components of the mixture are differently adsorbed on the adsorbent. The mixture is put in liquid or gaseous medium, which is moved through the adsorbent. Since different components have different absorbing power, so they will travel at different distance and can be separated. The adsorbed components can be removed or eluted by suitable solvents because they will dissolve in these solvents and move faster and can be separated. In one such method, the column makes use of alumina as an adsorbent in the glass tube and moving medium containing a solution of components in its liquid form dissolved in suitable solvent if it is solid, and if it is liquid then it is used as it is. This is the example of column chromatography. This is very useful in purification of elements which are available in very small quantity, and impurities are not very different in chemical properties from the elements to be purified. There are several chromatographic techniques, paper chromatography, which you will be doing in practicals. In paper chromatography, we take chromatographic paper which acts as a stationary phase, and we use a suitable solvent. Generally it is mixture of water and alcohol. So chromatographic paper dipped in this solvent acts as stationary phase, and the components like blue ink and red ink, or the components of chlorophyll, or the mixture of inks present in sketch pen, they can be separated by paper chromatography. Because different colors will have different absorbing power, so they will travel different distance and can be separated. In thin layer chromatography, instead of chromatographic paper, we use a glass sheet, a strip of glass like window pane glass, and this strip is dipped in silica gel. And here silica gel acts as an adsorbent. Remaining procedure is the same. In column chromatography, we use suitable adsorbent like alumina, and we take it in column. Column is similar to burette, but it is bigger in diameter. So here also same principle is used. In gas chromatography, separation of gases can take place on a particular adsorbent due to different adsorbing power. This is the diagram of column chromatography. This diagram is industrial, where more complicated method is used. This is laboratory method, which you can easily understand. This is column, which is packed with stationary phase, that is usually alumina acts as adsorbent. From the top, we are adding mixture of the components. If we have to separate solids, we dissolve it in suitable solvent, and if we have liquid, we can directly use. But solvent or eluent is added so that movement becomes faster. The mixture is added from the top, and they move through the column, and due to different adsorbing power, they move at different distance and get separated. So different colored bands have been formed, and they will be collected here, and on evaporating the solvent we will get pure components. This is the basic principle of column chromatography. Next topic is uses of aluminium, copper, zinc and iron. First we take aluminium. Aluminium foils are used as a wrappers for chocolate, for medicines and for cigarettes. The fine dust of aluminium metal is used in white paints and lacquers. Aluminium, being highly reactive metal, is also used in extraction of chromium, manganese from their oxides. It is also used in thermite welding or aluminothermy, in which aluminium is reacted with ferric oxide to give molten iron, which is used for repairing broken railway tracks. Wires of aluminium are used in electrical transmissions because it's a good conductor of electricity. Alloys of aluminium, particularly duralumin, being light, is very useful in making aeroplanes. Aluminium alloys, magnesium is also used for making pressure cookers and cooking utensils. Copper is used for making wires in electrical apparatus. It is used in several alloys which are tougher than the metal itself. So to make it hard, we convert it into alloys. For example, brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin, which is used for making medals, statues, and coinage alloys. We mix it with nickel. Zinc is used for galvanizing iron. The water pipes which we are using are called GI pipes, that is galvanized iron pipes, because it does not get rusted. It is used in large quantity in batteries. The dry cell containers are made up of zinc metal. As a constituent of many alloys, for example, brass contains 40% zinc, 60% copper, and German silver contains copper 25 to 30%, zinc is 25 to 30%, and nickel is 40 to 50%. It is used for making artificial jewelry. Zinc dust is used as reducing agent in manufacture of dyestuffs and paints, and you must have done the reaction. Phenol can be converted into benzene by heating it with zinc dust. Similarly, salicylic acid can be converted into benzoic acid by heating with zinc dust. That is, zinc dust removes OH group from the benzene ring. Cast iron, which is most important form of iron, is used for casting stoves, railway sleepers, gutter pipes, toys, etc. It is used for manufacture of wrought iron, which is the purest form of iron, and steel, which is alloy of iron and carbon. Wrought iron is used in making anchors, wires, bolts, chains, and agricultural implements. Nickel steel is used for making cables, automobiles, aeroplane parts, pendulums. Clock pendulums especially are made up of nickel steel because this steel has least coefficient of thermal expansion. And same reason we use it for measuring tapes. Chrome steel is used for cutting tools and crushing machines. Stainless steel for cycle parts, automobile parts and utensils, pens, etc. Manganese steel is used for making railway lines because it does not get rusted. Alnico is the alloy of iron, aluminium, nickel and cobalt. It is used for making permanent magnets.